Welcome to Study Loop.
So Goldstein Corporation manufactures a children bicycle, a model CT8, and they currently manufacture the bicycle frame. Now in 2012, Goldstein made 32,000 frames at a total cost of 1,056,000. Now Ryan Corporation has offered to supply as many frames as Goldstein wants at a cost of 32.50 per frame. Now, Goldstein anticipates needing 35,000 frames each year for the next few years. So they need 35,000 frames each year. Now, the first question is, what is the average cost of manufacturing a bicycle frame in 2012? And how much does it compare to Ryan's offer? So, given the question, we're given the amount of frames they produce, the total cost, the cost of each, and what they need. So, given what you're given, we can see that the computation of the average cost of a frame, which is AC, average cost of a frame, will be the total cost divided by the number of frames produced. And therefore, this will be equal to 1 million, because total cost is 1,056,000, and the number of frames produced is 32,000. So dividing this, you're gonna get $33. So this is the average cost of a frame. Now, if the company offer Goldstein Corporation, they offer each frame for $32.50, right? And the total manufacturing cost, which you just did, is $33. So in make or buy situations, not the total cost, but the variable cost should be compared with buying cost. And the reason is because fixed costs will not change with the increased number of frames, and fixed costs will be spread over more number of frames. So the total cost, including the fixed cost, will not be taken into consideration in making decisions. So we can say that the cost is 32.50, whereas the total manufacturing cost is $33. So the variable cost should be compared with buying cost. Not the total cost. So, and this reason is because, as we said, the fixed cost will not change with increased number of frames, and the fixed cost will be spread over number of frames. So, therefore, the total cost, including the fixed cost, should not be taken into consideration. Total cost plus fixed cost would not take into consideration in make or buy decisions. Now, the other part of the question says, can Goldstein use the answering requirement 1A to determine the cost of manufacturing 35,000 bicycle frames? So for that question, the cost of manufacturing bicycles will be lower than $33, and the answer requirement 1A may not be adequate to compute the total cost of 35,000 frames. So the cost of manufacturing would be lower than $33, and the answer in 1A may not be adequate to compute the total cost of manufacturing 35,000 frames. And the reason is because the fixed cost again will not change with the increased number of frames, and the fixed cost will not be spread over the number of years. So fixed cost will not change with increased number of frames, and the fixed cost would be spread over more number of frames. So now moving on to the second question. Goldstein's cost analyst uses annual data from past years to estimate the following regression equation with total manufacturing cost of the bicycle frame as the dependent variable and bicycle frames produced as the independent variable. So the equation is y is equals to 435,000 plus $19x. So during the years used to estimate the regression equation, the production of bicycle frames varied from 31,000 to 35,000. Using this equation, estimates how much it would cost Goldstein to manufacture 35,000 bicycle frames and how much more or less costly is it to manufacture the frames rather than to acquire them from Ryan. So the computation of the total cost of 35,000 frames manufactured using this regression model would be equals to this, and then this would be equals to 435,000 plus $19 multiplied by 35,000. So this is going to be equals to 1,100,000, right? So the following calculation will show the cost of a bicycle frame. So the cost of a frame will be equals to 1,100,000 divided by 35,000, and that's going to give you $31.43 approximately. So therefore the cost of manufacturing, which is this, the cost of manufacturing a frame is less than the cost of buying, which is $32.50. So cost of manufacturing is less than cost of buying. So therefore, we advise to manufacture the frame from own plant facilities rather than buying. So it is advised to manufacture. So moving on to the last question. What other information would you need to be confident that the equation in requirement 2 accurately predicts the cost of manufacturing bicycle frames? So apart from the given information, the company, which is Goldstein Corporation, they require number of frames. Goldstein Corporation requires number of frames that should be required to produce for the equation. So in addition to that, the fixed cost, if any, would be required over and above $435,000. So the fixed cost if any would be required over and above the price of 435,000. So that's the answer to the question.